Right, Salakia. So ultimately, it's that Isaiah 9 and 6. All right, let me see if I can. Is it Isaiah? I think it's 6 and 9. Excuse me. Yeah, the Isaiah 6 and 9 effect. Whereas that, ultimately, if it ain't written for you to get it, it just ain't written for you to get it, man. Man's goings of the Lord, I can then understand his own way. Okay. So, but we still, as the messengers, of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we still have a job to do, which is to tell you, ultimately. But if you got to be called, and when the calling, Lord's will, we are part of the chosen, at the end of the day, because like the scripture says, many are called, but few are chosen. Okay, but still, the point still stands. With getting the oil now, because the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, this is what's going to keep us, man. This is what's going to preserve us. The scriptures talk about discretion, shall preserve you. Okay, so the counsel in which I had that's in Revelation 3. The counsel or the advice that Yahweh Shai is given is that, listen to me. That's what the Lord is saying, and I got you. I'm gonna hold you down, but you got to do what I advise you to do. Ultimately. So let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm gonna read. This is Revelation 3 in the CSB. It says, I advise you to buy for me gold refined in the fire, so that you may be rich, white clothes, so that you may be dressed, and your shameful nakedness not be exposed, and anoint an ointment to spread on your eyes, that you may see. Okay, so all of this is just a representation of the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, okay, that Yahweh Shai gives, man. All right, when wisdom, sups with you, okay, and what, the only way to obtain it is through sacrifice. Is ultimately to bear your cross and to follow the Lord. All right, that's the only way to obtain it. Okay, and again, pursuant to St. John, the 10th chapter, what he said, my sheep hear my voice. Okay, the number of souls that are within the Lord's hand, can't nobody pluck them out. So that's why it's the elect. So it just always comes full circle, nonetheless. But again, now is the time to get it. Now is the time to get it, because Jake is going to have a lot of questions, man. And seeing how the spirit is going, how things are, are happening, especially with this last month, with the weather and everything that took place, and we had withdrawn, from the highways and the byways. I'm not saying that it's the end, of the ministry, but you gotta peep, in the spirit, man. Like, hey, look, there's going to come a time where we're not the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not going to be as accessible as it is, and that's the prophecy of the famine of the word. Okay, so the Lord is the counsel that He's given us is to buy it now, to get it now. All right, to labor and to work within it now, to get it now, man. Okay, because if in that day if you can't see, if you ain't got that light, if you ain't got Yahweh Shai with you, you fucking through. You're through. So, that's pretty much it, man. So with that, I'm gonna give infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors goes out to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and sincere peace and salutations goes out to you. Shalom.